complete with a made-up voice and demeanor, and lie about a defendant in a criminal case, all behind the shroud of anonymity. She lied that she had sexual contact with Sean without her consent. She lied that she was a victim. Virtually everything that came out of her mouth was a lie. One of the great vestiges of the Enlightenment that once held sway over parts of Europe is trial by jury. And a jury of 12 people had little difficulty concluding that this person with the fake false identity, voice, and demeanor was lying. And it acquitted Sean Combs of anything and everything related to her testimony. But she apparently is not done. Now that the jury is gone and her lies will not be tested by cross examination or evaluated by a fact finder, she wants to return to court still beneath the shroud of anonymity to lie again. Simply, she's not a victim of anything. She had adult consensual sexual contact with Sean Combs on a handful of occasions, and as her many writings show, held him in the highest regard for years afterwards. How do we know this? The same way the jury knew, because her testimony was blatantly incredible in every way, as was the testimony of so many of the government's witnesses. Moreover, that she was so eager to return to court when she plainly does not have to, and it is not even entitled to, puts her proffered fear of testifying at trial into clear relief. This was a show for her. She got to lie. She got to testify with a false identity. She got to try out her fake voice for a jury of savvy New Yorkers. But she also saw the consequences of lying to a jury. They don't believe you. So now that the jurors have returned to their lives and she can testify without scrutiny, she wants to come back still under a fake name, still with the false narrative to further sully these proceedings. Thank you for your consideration, all of Diddy's lawyers. They stir-fried Diddy's ass. The government came right back. They clapped right back for their mental anguish. And this letter right here is going to do Diddy dirty. I wouldn't be surprised if the judge goes up after this letter right here, if he goes up on time from what he was going to go on Diddy. And I'm finna tell y'all why. The government came back. In the letter that the government dropped, they dropped a bomb for Harlem. The government dropped a bomb for Harlem today. When I say for Harlem, I mean for Harlem. Straight like that. And I'm finna tell y'all what they dropped. So the government came back, you guys, and they clapped back in the worst way. And I'm finna tell y'all what they said tonight. Now, let's get to what the government said, right? So the government came back, stir-fried their ass. And the government says, and I'm gonna read this. Matter of fact, let me put this letter on the screen for y'all from the government. I think it'll be better if I put this on the screen for y'all. Yeah, let me put this on the screen for y'all. Yeah. It's a hell of a Harlem world, right? Oh, yeah. Let me put this on the screen for y'all. And this is from Donald Trump's guy, Jay Clayton. Everybody, and y'all don't even hear them talking about Donald Trump no more. Dude, y'all don't even hear them talking about Donald Trump no more. That Trump stuff is over with. Donald Trump got his guy on Diddy. His guy is Jay Clayton. Look it up. If you think I'm capping, nigga, and you know I got the paperwork, nigga. I got the paperwork. I got a paperwork party going on over here. I got paperwork now. Y'all already know. You ain't know your ass better call somebody. Let's get right into this letter right here from the government. Clap back. Shout out to my boy Diddy Docket for holding it down. He already know what it is. Let's get right to it. So the government, when Diddy put out that vile, sick letter, this is what the government said right here about Diddy. And they stir-fried this nigga once again. It says, Dear Judge Submaranian, the government respectfully submits this letter in response to Diddy's opposition to Mia's request to speak at sentencing. The defendant's letter, which notably lacks a single legal citation, is offensive, unprofessional, and on its face, nothing more than a blatant attempt to smear a victim who bravely testified about years of traumatic events she experienced at the defendant's hands. This rhetoric has no place in this court or during these civilized proceedings. The court should reject it entirely. Mia took the stand in this trial to testify for days about the defendant's treatment of her and those in his orbit. She was clear that testifying was something she did not want to do. In fact, she had planned to die with the truth of what Diddy had done. She had got nothing out of testifying. She didn't get any money. She didn't get any fame because nobody knew who she was or supposed to. Yet she did it anyways. Why? Because it was the right thing to do. How difficult this experience was for her was apparent based on her demeanor in the courtroom, in which she often looked down and struggled to get words out. That is not how someone lies. It is how someone speaks about the worst thing they've ever had to do or talk about in their life. To suggest otherwise is offensive. Despite days of lengthy bullying, cross examination, in which the defense counsel explicitly accused her of lying, Mia was crystal clear. I have never lied in this courtroom, and I will never lie in this courtroom. Everything I said is true. Despite defense counsel's assertions, nothing in the jury's verdict expresses a view as to Mia's credibility. The jury was not asked to make any finding on Mia's credibility regarding particular instances of Diddy's violence or abusive treatment of her and others. We cannot speculate to why the jury acquitted on the RICO count. See United States versus Watts. But as the defense counsel, Diddy's legal team, well knows, the jury could have believed every single thing Mia said about Diddy's violence towards her and others, some of which was corroborated by other testimony and evidence in the case, and still have acquitted Diddy for other reasons, such as finding that the enterprise was not proven beyond a reasonable doubt. To draw any factual inference about Mia's credibility based on the jury's acquittal is not only wrong, but it's not allowed under law. Watts 519 U.S. at 155. See also, right? And it's stir frying in this. Y'all already know what it is. See also, right? What does it say? Um, Block versus Martinez. Now it says, holding court erred when it concluded at the sentencing that the jury had necessarily rejected victim's testimony, explaining that a jury's acquittal on certain accounts cannot serve as the independent basis for any factual inferences, much less by a preponderance of the evidence which a court may base its sentence. Mia was brave to testify at the trial and is even more brave to be willing to speak the truth at sentencing after the verdict. She was by far not only the only employee, friend, or person who testified as to the defendant's violence, vindictiveness, or cruelty, nor is she the only one who has sought to come forward in connection with sentencing to do the same. The defense's fear of one victim speaking for less than 5 minutes speaks volumes as to what it believes may be the impact of her telling the truth. Thankfully, the decision about whether a victim can speak at sentencing is not left to her abuser, who every incentive is to silence her, but to this honorable court. The court is well within its rights to allow Mia to speak. See United States versus Sanson, number 236193, 2024, WL 5087518 at 1. And it should do so. Respectfully submitted, Donald Trump's boy, who he appointed, and you see right there at the bottom, Jay Clayton. And all you people, because this is what the narrative is going to shift to. I want y'all to think about this. I'm telling y'all this right now. When they cook Diddy ass on Friday, I want y'all to listen to what I said right now to y'all, right? What they're going to do is they're going to go right back to a pardon. They're going to be talking about appeals and pardons, but they're not going to win in appeal court. And I'm going to tell you why they're not going to win in appeal court. They're not going to win in appeal court because the judge has covered his ass. He's dotted his I's and he's crossed his T's. So their appeals are going to fall on deaf ears because the judge has given them all factual information, all his responses. But I'm going to show y'all this. That's Donald Trump's boy. On the right-hand side of your screen, that's Donald Trump's boy. Do you know who that is? Look at the signature right there. It says Jay Clayton. Look at your screen. That's Donald J. Trump and his boy, Jay Clayton. And what a lot of you people fail to realize is that when Donald J. Trump, when he fired Maureen Comey, he hired his guy, Jay Clayton. And it's his guy, Jay Clayton, that asked for all this extra time against Sean Diddy Combs. Donald Trump's guy is who did this. And this is why they know that that boy ain't getting no free card or pardon from Donald J. Trump. And I'll show y'all on the screen. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you now. I'm gonna show you right now. Just for shits and giggles, ladies and gentlemen. Did Donald Trump appoint Jay Clayton in the Southern District of New York? And his ticket, just that dude, that's on a whole different level. Ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to look at y'all's screen right now. In 5, 4, 3, 2,
See
1. Yes! President Donald Trump appointed Jay Clayton, intern United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York in April of 2025, following his nomination announced as president-elect in November of 2024. Clayton, who had previously served as the SEC chairman during Donald Trump's first term, was selected as a business-friendly ally to lead the Manhattan Federal Prosecutor's Office. And in August of 2025, Southern District of New York judges approved and extended his term, effective August the 20th, marking a key win for the Donald Trump administration amid efforts to install loyalists and high-profile Department of Justice roles. If Jay Clayton is so loyal to Donald J. Trump, look at the signature, Jay Clayton, right at the bottom. Y'all know that's all Donald Trump wants. It's people who are loyal to him. If Donald Trump wanted Diddy off, why would he have his boy bury him? Money, 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 money. Everybody's got a price to pay. With the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, baby. Everybody's got a price to pay. Once again, know your role and shut your mouth. Read the second paragraph. Jay Clayton, who previously served as SEC chairman during Donald Trump's first term, and Donald Trump appointed him, was selected as a business-friendly ally to lead the Manhattan Federal Prosecutor's Office. In August of 2025, Southern District of New York judges approved and extended his term, effective August the 20th, marking a key win for the Trump administration amid efforts to install loyalists in high-profile Department of Justice roles. This echoes a 2020 attempt during Donald Trump's first term to nominate Jay Clayton for the same position to replace Jeffrey Berman, which ultimately did not succeed then. But Donald J. Trump fired Maureen Comey and hired Jay Clayton. And you better ask yourself a question. Was it a number of reasons that Donald Trump did not fire Maureen Comey? But was one of the reasons because Maureen Comey didn't do a good enough job on burying Sean Diddy Combs? That question is in my brains. It's in my brain because the first thing that Jay Clayton did when he took over for Maureen Comey